All right. It's a warm-up time. What is the best gummy bear? Go.
Black Forest.
Is it an edible?
Kind of gummy bear, or the best color, or what are we talking about?
Best, like the best brand of gummy bear. If you're going into the candy store, you're going to get gummy bears, but oh no, they have multiple choices of gummy bears. This sucks. I have to choose the best one. What do I choose?
Haribo.
I'm torn between Black Forest and Albanese.
Albanese are so good.
I don't know if I've had Albanese.
I've not heard of that one.
They're the one in the white package with the red fancy lettering, and they're very, very good.
The ones from Buc-ee's are good too.
Buc-ee's.
Nobody has said Black Forest.
Occam said Black Forest.
Oh, really? I discovered Black Forest recently, and apparently the only place to get them is at Walgreens. And they're very delicious. I want some right now.
I know Walmart carries Black Forest, it's got like fruit gusher kind of stuff.
Ham.
Well, that too.
Black Forest ham.
Not the same company.
Occam just brings me a big old thing of Black Forest ham. This is not what I wanted. This is not even a gummy ham.
It's just a ham with gummy bears embedded in it.
That's gummy glazed ham. That's what you wanted, right?
Gummy glazed.
Hello, friends. This is Kristie, and you're listening to Tales to Inspire.
Tragedy in Tunisia. On their first mission, Operation American Defense fumbled their way to a victory over the Axis Africa Corps, but not without costly mistakes. Many of the heroes bear the scars of stress, both physical and mental. In addition, only after their perceived success did the heroes find out that an entire camp of prisoners of war had been executed just a short distance from where they had been fighting. With such a blundering boner under their belts for their basal undertaking, can these heroes find the resolve to continue?
As we open up this issue of Tales to Inspire, we see a little yellow box in the corner that says March 1943, Tunisia, North Africa. And we see a military encampment. We see some Abrams tanks rolling up this ravine. We see some Royal Air Force airplanes screeching overhead. And we see just this Allied force setting up an encampment in this mountainous area. And I think in the next panel we see some shallow graves that are in the process of being dug. And we do not see, the bodies being placed in there, but we definitely feel the weight of those shallow graves. And I think standing nearby, I think we see the heroes of Operation American Defense. So heroes, if you are here, please describe what you're doing, kind of set the scene in this somber panel that we have. And if you're not here, well then I'm very curious to find out where you are. But I'll hand it over to you. What's going on in this scene?
I picture Gwen standing at the edge of where the shallow graves are, and she's been wearing her go gear, which is basically like a cat suit, and she just rolls down her coveralls or whatever to her hips, and she has a tank top or shirt underneath, something that women don't necessarily wear because it is hot in Africa. And she just stares for a little bit, and she's like, great first day, guys. And you see her turn and walk. And then she just picks up the nearest canteen and starts drenching her head with the water.
I think nearby, Torchbearer would take notice of this, of what she said, and kind of looks up from what he's doing and brushes sweat and probably also tears from his eyes, and his cheeks, and his brow. He turns back to what he's doing and forces the shovel into the ground a little bit more. Heaps out another load of soil as he continues digging these shallow graves.
Yeah, I think Omission is off to the side watching the horizon and putting down notes of the deceased while whistling to himself a slight tune.
Yeah, Crystal Gazer is helping, like, refill holes with using her, like, telekinesis to, like, scoot the dirt back in and cover it. And, she's quiet, unnaturally quiet in this moment. She's just got this look on her face like she might cry, but like her eyes are big and tears are in her eyes, but she's not saying anything, and she's just like filling holes.
Sister Solstice is sitting kind of off to the side from everyone, and she's kind of like rocking back and forth. Like she's really shook up. She's just a young girl. Like this is not what she expected.
And Dr. Fusion is off a little bit away, discussing next actions, next steps with a general or some sort of commander or something.
Okay. Maybe you could be discussing it with Hives, Henry
Sure.
Richter.
Yeah, if he's there, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's definitely there. So he and you are talking over on the side.
There's a panel of Gwen going to sit next to Sister Solstice, and she just hands over the canteen that she had. She just hands the canteen and is like sitting extremely close to her. How old are you, kid?
13.
Damn. I mean, I guess in a few years, that's how old I was when I first saw somebody. Anyway, I don't want to say it gets easier, because it doesn't, but unfortunately, it doesn't stop. So, welcome to the team.
Omission like pops out of nowhere.
Oh my god!
Yeah, kid. The emotional and mental damage from this experience, you won't be able to live life.
Milk!
What?
No, man!
She's experiencing the harsh realities of war at 13. It might as well tell her the truth about what's awaiting her for the rest of her life and whether this is all worth it.
Sister Solstice is just like looking between the two of them, like a kid who's looking between her parents that are like fighting, and she's just like looking back and forth, wide-eyed, like what is happening?
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It doesn't feel great. It doesn't look great. Unfortunately, again, it won't stop. So we just learn to overcome that.
She nods her head.
And when you get a little bit older, you take a little bit more drinks of whiskey, and then you just move on.
Okay. She's still wide-eyed.
Yeah. We're helping.
The shovel and Grant's hand kind of snaps. No.
No what?
It's not going to be like this.
You mean we're not going to bury people? Because
I had talked so much, I thought so much, wanted so badly to come over here and to help out. And it's hard to see that as much as I wanted and as much as I talked the talk, when I walked the walk, it just wasn't enough.
Gwen stands up and stomps over to where he is. Don't you dare do that. We did what we could. Sometimes things happen we can't control. I don't want to say sacrifice, but sometimes things have to be done.
No, that's exactly what it is. That's what all of this is.
war's all about trading lives, so this is it.
But you talk about it being worth it. And it has to be. It's worth it for us to come here, to help, and to do everything that we possibly can to make sure that kids like her can grow up without seeing war like this. To make sure that no more of us have to be down here in the dirt, digging graves for people who should have lived long and happy lives. If it's not worth it to you, then you can go home. You can live whatever life you want, but
It won't stop, though. Like, all of this is never going to end. This is just humanity. I mean, we just get to see it out in front of us, like a play in a theater. But even after all this is over, it's not going to stop. It just will be hid behind the curtains.
Gwen puts her hands on both of your shoulders, just standing between you. The point is, even if it doesn't stop, we don't let it stop us. That's the point.
Just keep on keeping on. And I am sorry, kid. You got a tough rap. Like, I have more sympathy for you than any other person here. And that includes the dead.
Thank you, I think.
Torchbearer goes back to digging out these shallow graves with his hands because his shovel's broken.
Gwen goes to help.
Yeah, Crystal Gazer's going and, like, moving it, trying to, like, scrape with her, like, telekinesis powers and scrape the dirt out of the holes.
Your nails are too pretty for this, hon.
Yeah, we're not. There's no way. We're doing manual labor.
So, Dr. Fusion is talking to Hives, then. What is our next move?
Well, I believe the next military action that we will be pursuing is invading Sicily. Patton and Montgomery want to take it quickly. But that offensive will be about a month removed from now. So, in between now, we will be running bombing campaigns on the shore of Sicily to soften it up, and we'll be establishing a base closer to the Mediterranean so that we can easily get to Sicily quickly.
Some of us have domestic obligations. Is there a way for us to travel?
Yes, it's actually funny that you should mention that. I got a wire from the president today that said an experimental cross-Atlantic submersible is waiting to ferry you back from the war back to the States. Her name is the Deep Sea Dame, and she's actually about a day out.
Good. I will inform the rest of the team.
You do that, Doc.
And he will walk away toward the rest of the group, who I assume are close enough together.
Oh, yeah.
Today was not so great a victory.
Good observation skills, Doc.
Any word from the brass?
They are preparing for a invasion in Sicily in a month's time. And they have secured passage for us to come and go when necessary. For anyone who needs to return to the States tomorrow, a ship will be arriving.
Yeah, I gotta go back.
I also have obligations of my own.
I'll stay here. See what I can do.
I'm with you, Milk. Kid, what about you?
I think I need to go back home.
And, it's probably wise if you don't come back.
Milk.
Who wants to go to war?
I agree. A child is no place in this.
Look, I get it was hard, but you are strong. Don't let them talk to you like you don't know what you're doing. You make this decision on your own.
Okay.
Did the president know you were a child when he sent you into this?
No.
Well, you might have to stay behind, sweetie, if you go back.
It is your choice. You have until tomorrow to decide.
She's just looking around at everybody with an overwhelmed look on her face.
Torchbearer gives her kind of a kind but knowing glance, like, kind of nods at her.
She nods her head at that, and she looks a little bit more sure of herself.
And I guess we see a panel of all of you walking your separate directions. And then, unless anybody had a scene they wanted to play out, we'll turn the page to those going on the Deep Sea Dame and those staying here to set up a forward base.
Is Torch staying or going?
I think I'm gonna stay. I just can't help feeling like I've got unfinished business.
Very well. The four of you will move forward to the new base of operations in the Mediterranean. And myself and you will head back to the States in the morning.
So we turn the page on that, and then in the corner we see the yellow box that says the next morning, and we see the Deep Sea Dame pulled up to the shore. And I would like somebody to just tell me, what are we looking at right now? Like, kind of describe, what does this experimental high-speed submersible look like?
I picture something super American gaudy. There is red, white, and blue accents in a way that should not be there.
It's got like the Statue of Liberty, like a statue of it attached to the front with like the
oh my gosh.
Prow, or what is it called? With the maiden at the front of the boat. What is that called?
the front boat.
The front
thing.
boat.
The front
It's
boat.
the
Boat thing.
It's
yes.
the bowsprit, right?
No, the bowsprit is the long beam that goes straight off the ship.
So no, Lady Liberty is just sitting at
The figurehead?
Masthead.
there.
Sure.
The mast.
Masthead,
There we go.
yeah.
Okay.
And she has like an AK-47. Motherfuckers.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
What?
The corny version of me is like her breasts are like cannons,
Oh my
like the torpedoes shoot out of the breast.
Oh my! No, they're actually workable torpedo guns. Yes,
Oh my god.
cannon. I like it.
Oh,
Fire the freedom tits.
Trademark it.
okay.
I'm done. You're welcome.
All right, so very American, very gaudy. Lady Liberty is on the masthead. Okay.
And
I will not speak it into existence yet.
Freedom tits.
Let's deliberate.
America!
Can we at least say it's like the upper half of like Lady Liberty, but like her bottom half is the mermaid?
Oh, and like it runs, like the mermaid runs underneath the whole of the deep sea dame.
I like
it.
and every scale is a U.S. state. It has like the little like initials of the U.S. state.
Oh,
Symbolism.
yeah.
Okay, I kind of like that actually.
I kinda
they just
like
have like
that.
carved into it the states. I like it.
I could just see it on the page of the comic book. I'm sorry, it's just perfect.
Yeah, no. I hope you guys get attacked because I want to see it in action.
Yeah. I'm also agreeing with the angular look, like something that looks like it's going to cut through the water, and there's almost no drag to it.
That's like, That's one of my favorite things about like the book depiction of the Nautilus. It has like that like raised, like serrated like blade on the front of it.
Yeah.
And then when you get inside it, it makes no sense as why there's that much room.
It's a TARDIS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the case for sure. And like the rear of it, where propellers would normally be, it looks almost like a combustion engine. Like there's like pipes coming off of the back of it.
You see like movable, almost like pistons, not pistons.
Like pistons, yeah.
They're like mufflers.
You see the movement, like it's like an old school.
It's like a hot rod.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah, it's like a hot rod engine on the back of the boat.
All right, make sure this is written too, because
I'm writing it all down right now.
So it's parked at the port, like ready to pick them up when we wake up.
Yeah. So we have the establishing shot of like the deep sea dame, and we see all these details like painstakingly drawn by the artist, and like y'all are like these little bitty figures next to the deep sea dame, and then in the next panel we see the six of you standing there by the deep sea dame.
Well, don't break America's new toy. That thing looks shiny.
It is a little gaudy for my taste.
they certainly went for style over function.
I don't know. It looks functional enough.
Well, part of the design must have been to scream America. That's outrageous.
You would think that for a secret government vessel, they would make it a little less conspicuous.
Gaudy, honey. The word you're looking for is gaudy.
I like how we're shitting on our own design.
Because it's amazing.
Just not 30 seconds ago, all of the players are like, this is great and we love it. And the character's like, this is the worst.
And that's how you know we're great role players.
Because we are not designers, and our characters actually have taste.
True.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought it was amazing. Well, do what you gotta do, and then we'll have a place set up so we can make a plan.
Yeah, enjoy your vacation from war. I guess we'll just be here warring it up by ourselves.
No. Crystal, I'll save you some wine. I hear they have some good stuff there.
Sounds good. Thanks, sweetie.
Torch kind of looks over at Sister Solstice. You sure you don't want to take some time? Maybe see some friends or something?
But what if I can't come back?
You do what you have to do. If you feel like you need to be here, you've already proved that you can make it. If you need to go home, you've earned the right to be a kid. No one's gonna tell you what to do, right?
I want you to be sure that this is your decision. And if you want to go back, you know that nobody here is going to blame you. Least of all me. But if you do want to come back, we'll make sure that you can.
Sister Solstice nods her head slowly and steps towards the ship.
Be safe.
Alright, y'all have fun on your party boat.
Gwen is just like gripping the back of Milk's like suspenders. God, get back. Calm down.
You know, sometimes forgetting you is a blessing.
That hurts. That hurts a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go back to this war, which is infinitely less harming than whatever that was.
Nice, Doc.
But before he turns and walks to the ship, he walks up to Geiger Gwen and kind of leans in and whispers into her ear. When I return, you will explain to me why you are in Oregon State University.
She just hisses in his ear.
You have plenty of time to come up with a good answer. And then he will turn around and walk onto the ship.
She does a vulgar hand gesture at his back that no one really knows what it is, but it is spelled out, vulgar hand gesture.
Yeah, the artist is like drawn over it, like scribbled it out, and it just has like white lettering in the black, like vulgar hand gesture.
Redacted.
Redacted. I like it.
Oh, I like this relationship so much. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good.
All right, Dr. Fusion walks on to the Deep Sea Dame.
Oh, I'm heading on that ship. I'm
Yeah,
following
Sister
that. I'm following
Solstice
that ass
was-
on there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sister
I'm on
Solstice
that
isn't
shit.
doing
I'm
that,
calling that ass on
but she's
there.
getting on.
Good grief. Okay. So we see the hatch close on the Deep Sea Dame. It slowly lowers into the water. You watch as Lady Liberty, the masthead, disappears beneath the water. The last thing to dip beneath the Mediterranean Sea. And then 3 heroes going back to the States. 3 heroes staying here with the war effort. Hello, friends, and welcome to the mid-roll section of Season 1, Episode 3 of Tales to Inspire. I'm your host, David White. And do you notice something different about, I don't know, just about maybe the audio in this little section? Do you like it? Well, you might notice something different because I'm recording these show notes from my new house. Yay! That was a weird sound to make. I'm very sorry for that. Yeah, Kari and I have moved into a new house, a much better house, better neighborhood. I'm very, very excited for it. And actually, that kind of leads me into the little next part, which is I'm sorry for taking a month off. We took a month off during the month of June because it was a very stressful time. We were supposed to move into our new house on June 2nd. We did not move into our new house until June 24th. There were a lot of complications on the side of the buyer who was buying our old house. And so our date kept getting pushed back, and that was very, very frustrating because we basically lived in boxes for 22 days. But I decided to put releasing on a hold so, I didn't have to have that on top of me. Also, I couldn't, my microphone was packed up in a box, and I really didn't want to unpack it to record stuff. So, anyways, we've moved. It's such a nice place. I'm coming to you from a space that is just going to be dedicated to recording both Sins of the Father, Tales to Inspire, and anything else that we record for Misconceptions Podcast Studio Network. I'm just so excited for this space. Like, I finally have a space that isn't a corner of a little bitty room that Kari and I were sharing for our personal offices. I'm just so excited. There's going to be sound panels everywhere. I have these like little mats down on the floor to help with sound cancellation. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm just so excited. And I'm also excited that you're here listening to this episode. Did you see how I did that? The little workaround. But yeah, I'm excited to get back to releasing Tales to Inspire, to give you more of this great story and these great characters, and I really hope that you are enjoying the story that we have so far. Now, allow me to change gears a little bit, because I've been kind of lighthearted. I've talked about, our hashtag first world problems, which really in the grand scope of things are not a huge problem, really just an inconvenience. But I wanted to switch it up real quick and kind of get a little serious. Because during the month of June, especially towards the last week and a half of June, things got really bad in the United States of America. And I would be remiss to continue this show notes on this episode on this day, the 4th of July in 2022, and not talk about what's going on in the United States right now. And we here at the Misconceptions Podcast Network try very hard not to let our personal religious beliefs or political beliefs bleed into the game. That is just something that we have made a concerted effort not to do on our shows. However, I believe what is happening right now in the United States is not a political issue. Rather, it is a healthcare issue. It is a human rights issue. It is a liberty and independence and freedom issue. It seems like just in the last week or week and a half, the Supreme Court of the United States made some awful rulings that will hurt a lot of people in this country. We have healthcare rights, women healthcare rights being stripped away from them. We have, environmental agencies that are being stripped of their power. We have indigenous people who are being stripped of their sovereignty. We have all this stuff coming from the Supreme Court, the highest court in our country, and it's scary. It is scary. It is scary. Let's be honest. I am a white man in the United States. Truly, these things don't affect me, except for the environment, because, even white men need clean air and a planet to live on. But really and truly, I am the least affected of all these rulings that have come out. But it should not have to happen to me for it to matter to me. Because I'm seeing friends, people that I love, that are waking up each day with less rights in the morning than they went to sleep with the night before, and that makes me angry. It makes me scared, and I hope that it makes you scared, and I hope it makes you angry as well, because it seems every day this country is getting closer and closer to a Christian theocracy, and I am a Christian. I'm not sure if you knew that. And the idea of this country, of a religious group, of my religious group, forcing everyone else in this country, regardless of their religion, regardless of their gender identity, to conform to a book and teachings that they do not believe in, is scary to me. And it is also frustrating to me. And so I just wanted to take a moment right now on this day, the 4th of July, and my relationship, let's say, with the 4th of July, Independence Day, has changed drastically since 2016. My willingness to participate in it, to buy memorabilia of it, to buy into propaganda of it, just to celebrate it, has dwindled greatly. And I'm sure there are some of you that feel like that. And maybe there are some of you that don't feel like that. But today, if you would, I just wanted to tell a story. Can we tell a story together? I would like to tell a story. When Kari and I moved into this house that we're in right now, there was this gorgeous double French door situation in the back that gave a beautiful view into our backyard, which is another really great aspect of this house. However, the door had some problems. First, the handle was loose. I had to pull on it multiple times just to get the latch to come out far enough for it to come out of the mortise for me to open the door. And it was even harder to open the door from the other side. There were some gaps in the door frame, allowing bugs to crawl in and the cold air to seep out. And whenever I opened the door, it made this horrible scraping noise along the floor. And for all of these flaws, I hated the door. I hated the door for its inconvenience, its inefficiency, and its inability to function as I knew a door should be able to function. So I decided to fix it. I started in the morning by assessing the problems, by taking measurements and looking up parts online. Then I went to the store and bought what I needed. I started this project in the morning. I didn't finish it until very late in the afternoon. I had to go back to the hardware store multiple times that day. Not all the tools or pieces I bought worked. I had to reevaluate my plans once I realized that they were not going to fix the problem. But I never gave up on trying to fix the problem. I never thought about moving to a new house with a door that operated the right way. I was determined to fix my door because, even with all of its problems, I knew it could be a good door. Fast forward numerous hours, multiple trips to the hardware store, and not a few cussing tirades later, the door's fixed. I had replaced the handle. I had chiseled out a new mortise. I had placed new weather stripping. I had tightened the screws on the hinges, and now the door worked. The door closed easily now from both sides. I could turn the deadbolt to lock the door. I could no longer see light seeping through between the door and the door frame. The door no longer made a horrible scraping noise along the floor when I opened it. I had made the door better. Not just for me, but for my wife and our son and our friends who were going to come over to our house and use that door to go out into our beautiful backyard. Sometimes hating a thing because it does not operate the way it should, the way you know it should, is a good thing. Especially if your hatred compels you to fix it and make it better, not just for you, but for everyone else too. I wish more people realize that. Anyway, happy 4th of July to anyone that's still celebrating this year. And now let me change gears once again to thank our patron backers. I would like to thank these people that are supporting our show. Celeste, thank you so much for upping your pledge so that you can participate in the patron-only game nights with us. And I have enjoyed the patron-only game night that you have been a part of, and I look forward to many more in the future. Aubrey T. Harris. Aubrey, thank you so much for supporting us, and thank you so much for upping your pledge so that you can also participate in the patron-only game nights with us. And unfortunately, our schedules haven't worked out where you've been able to join us yet, but I look forward to the night when you are able to. John Tabor. John, thank you so much for supporting us. Your support goes towards helping us pay our performers, pay for sound effects and ambiance. Thank you so much, John. And I would also like to give a shout out to Snyder's Return. Not only is Snyder's Return a great podcast with a great City of Mist actual play and some really cool interviews with some really brilliant people in the TTRPG space, but they are also one of our patrons. So thank you, Snyder's Return, for supporting us. And with all of that out of the way, let's get back to the episode. Mechanically, what I would like for us to do now is to do the downtime move. And in the downtime move, whenever you have
downtime.
You can choose one way to spend it. And these are the different ways. You can go click on the Special Moves tab to see this. So whenever your character has some downtime, choose one way to spend it. Spend time with someone important to you. Tell everyone at the table how you do it, and step back one of your bond clocks by one. Gather intel. Tell everyone at the table how you do it, and you gain an answer to one of these questions below. Who can tell me what I want to know? Where can I find ... What are the rumors about ... Who is the most upset about ... Who stands to gain the most from ... Acquire an asset. Tell everyone at the table what the asset is and how you acquire it, and gain a temporary advantage. You take a +1 ongoing when using the advantage for its designed purpose. Rest and recover from your last activity. Tell everyone at the table how you relax and unwind and clear 2 stress or clear 1 condition. And then the comfort and support a friend. Ask an ally a question. If they answer truthfully, they can recover a condition or 2 stress. If they ask you a question and you answer truthfully, you can also recover a condition or 2 stress. So narratively, describe it however you want, but mechanically, you can do those different things during this downtime montage. But where's the next panel drawn? Where do we turn the page to?
So for Omission, I'd like to take the rest and recover.
Okay.
Because I'm super stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's going to do is he's going to go, this month he's going to go behind enemy lines to, German cities and such. And just, enjoy some time alone wandering the streets of Germany and such, and maybe getting a drink somewhere, talking to people. But yeah. We turn the page and we see the little yellow box that says Germany, some, I don't know, Bundeskrag. I don't know if that's an actual German town, but it's a place in our universe. Just like Latveria is in Marvel, Bundeskrag, Germany is a thing. Bundeskrag. My name is Craig. So we see Omission walking around the street. We see him talking to people, drinking a beer. So go ahead and you can recover 2 stress, or you can clear 1 condition. Yeah, I'm recovering 2 stress because I don't have any conditions.
All right.
Perfect.
Go ahead, clear that stress. Oh, and I guess I should mention now, listeners, you're probably wondering, wait, stress conditions, that's not the HP management system that David mentioned in the previous episodes. No, it's not. Because I'm the biggest critic of my own work. And after living through the past episodes in combat, I was like, I don't like how combat flowed. That was kind of boring for me. And I obsessed over it, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So we have switched our HP management system to be like the Avatar Legends HP management system, and we're also using their combat system, which, I mean, hopefully the combat system will not come up in this chill downtime episode, but we're using stress, so each character has 5 stress, and the stress tracks their mental fortitude, their physical, their emotional state, and in combat they can use stress to activate different abilities and different techniques. And like I said, we'll talk more about combat later. And then you have conditions, which people familiar with other games, other Powered by the Apocalypse games should know. But there are conditions like angry, afraid, guilty, hopeless, insecure, that will affect how a character role plays, but also it will affect the moves that they make and give them negative moves. Because this game is going to be spread out over a decade, over multiple decades. And so it wouldn't make sense for a character to get an owie in 1943 and still be suffering from that owie in 1945. But a person could definitely acquire some guilt in 1943 and carry it with them for 2 years. So I think the emotional impact of conditions narratively works better for our system. But I say all that to say that that's the HP management system we're rolling with now. So that's what Omission's doing with his downtime.
My idea for what Torchbearer would be doing is kind of embedding himself in one of the other squadrons and stuff, and just helping them out and getting to know them better, and just kind of throwing himself back into his work.
So would that be your rest and recover, or?
Yeah. I'm kind of torn between comfort and support a friend, or spend time with somebody important to you.
I don't think it would be comfort and support a friend, because that's more for NPC, or not NPC. Sorry, player character interaction.
I feel bad saying anything to Sister Solstice when we could have just had a good scene with that or something.
I have an idea. Could he acquire an asset of troop morale or something?
Yeah, he definitely could. That's a good idea, Occam.
Because that'd be a good way of doing it.
Yeah, so he has a +1 morale, troop morale asset.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Go ahead and lay out this scene for us. What's going on?
Torchbearer's kind of looking around, just kind of unsure of what to do. Nobody's really talking to him, or no Hives isn't around. No commanding officer is really paying attention to him, or barking orders at him like he expected would be the case pretty much 24/7 since he got here. And then he just sees this group of soldiers kind of relaxing, just kind of minding their own business. Some of them are throwing darts, some of them are drinking, playing cards, and there's just one hanging off to the side watching everybody, who's got his feet kicked up and is smoking a cigar. And Torchbearer walks over to introduce himself. Hey, I'm Grant Godwin, Torchbearer. What are you guys doing over here?
We're just resting up before next combat.
It's probably for the best. Should probably be doing the same. You guys okay? Did you take any losses in the last operation?
Roaring 20s don't have any losses. We just have advances. Ain't that right, 20s?
Yes, sir!
That's really good. I'm glad to hear it. What do you guys do for fun around here?
I don't know, you ever play darts? He walks you over to where they have a makeshift dartboard set up. And of course, in the middle of it, there's a picture of Adolf, a news clipping of Adolf Hitler. And they have a knife jammed through the top of it, holding it there. And there's all these darts around it. And he takes one of the darts and hands it to you. Torchbearer, was it?
Yeah, you can call me Grant.
Henry Holmes. He holds out a hand to you.
It's nice to meet you, Henry Holmes. Shakes his hand. So what, I just throw it and hope to pierce the face of Adolf Hitler?
Yeah, try to put it right there between his eyes.
All right, I can see what I can do. Should I roll for this?
No, this is definitely not a roll. Just tell me what happens.
He tries to be subtle and throw it like he thinks a normal person would throw it, but he ends up throwing it a little bit too hard and just kind of embeds the dart. somewhere in like the mouth region of Adolf Hitler, but very, very deep, going through the paper and into the tree that it stuck to.
Yeah, and it goes halfway in, piercing the tree behind it. The dartboard kind of cracks, and all the roaring 20s look at the dart at one panel, and then they're all looking at you in the next panel. Henry Holmes says, "Damn, well, it might not have been between the eyes, but don't get in between this guy and Adolf Hitler, know what I mean?" And he claps a hand on your shoulder, and Phil, you now have a +1 asset, boosted morale.
Excellent. Henry, can I ask you a question?
Sure, Grant.
There's something that's been bothering me since we got here. I guess I'm just having a hard time. Do you think that what we're doing here is worth it? Do you think that fighting this war and, trying to make this place better, trying to make the world a better place, you think it's all worth it?
He clutches his cigar between his teeth, and I think whenever you were talking to the Roaring 20s, it was like daylight, and I think this next panel is like it's night, the stars are overhead, y'all are like drawn with just like a sliver of color to accent the moon, and we just see like he clutches the cigar between his teeth, and we see like the bright orange glow illuminate his face in one panel, and then it dims in the next panel, and he exhales, and we see all silhouettes again with like smoke coming out of his mouth, and he says, "Well, hell, if we weren't here, what would that mean for the rest of the world? Just gonna let a bunch of Nazis goose step their way across the continent, then come to the States? I don't think so, buddy. I think we're fighting a good fight here. And sure, we may lose some men and may even lose our own lives, but that's war, ain't it?"
It's true. I don't know. I guess I just needed to hear it from somebody else. I hope I can make a difference. And if you guys ever need any help, just know that I'm here for you.
Hell, I thought your superheroes were supposed to be bigger than life. Hearing you talk, you ain't too different from me. Hell, one day even I might be a superhero.
You're already a hero to me, Henry.
And we turn the page. What's the next scene we see?
Okay, so Geiger Gwen wants to gather intel. She wants to get a heads up on what's going to be happening.
Okay.
But instead of gathering intel on like the Nazi invasion, she follows Torchbearer to where he's going and kind of just sits back and watches him.
Okay.
To see what his interaction is like. So I don't know if that's still gathering intel or what.
Okay, well, you have these 5 questions here. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 questions.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. You're in a bar, right? With all of them.
With Torchbearer? No, I think they're like outside, right?
Yeah, we were just like at one of the like sitting around in the camp, like just like the military.
Oh, okay. So Geiger Gwen goes to up some just random soldier that's around, and she just starts chatting him up. Like, all right, so what do I have to expect? Let me know what I have going on here.
Okay. So which of those questions are you wanting to ask?
So where can I find the person who's in charge of the next attack?
Where can I find the person who is in charge of the next attack? So you grab a soldier. and he points to this big tent towards the middle of camp, and he says, well, technically, I guess there's two. There's the British General Montgomery, and then there's the American guy, Patton. I think they're both taking lead on this invasion.
Oh, I like the accents. I'll go for the British guy. She just starts walking towards the tent, and she just barges right in. Alright, so I need to know what's going to happen, because we're going to be here real soon trying to make things go down. So.
And you walk into a tent full of men and cigar smoke and half-drunk whiskey glasses, and there's the table with the map of Sicily and different camps and entrenchments and battlements, and all these men just look over at you, just flabbergasted. We see Bernard Montgomery with a mustache and kind of high cheekbones, and he just furrows his brow at you and says,
"Young lady, this is not a place for you to be in."
And Henry Richter Hives steps in and says, Generals, if I may acquaint you with Geiger Gwen, a member of Operation American Defense. She will be helping with the assault at Sicily next month.
Hives, it's okay. I do declare, gentlemen, I am here at your service. Of course.
You see, there's a panel of all the soldiers in this room. You see the American ones like have a sly smile on their face, and all the British are just offended.
She just walks over to where Montgomery is. I hear you have the accent and the authority to tell me what's going on.
Yes, madam. Right this way, then.
And as he turns to lead you towards the map, he turns to one of his attachés and says,
I will not have the invasion of Sicily hanging on the likes of American supers. Get me in contact with a team of British capes immediately.
And then he turns back to the map, and he starts explaining, the bombing that the Royal Air Force is doing to soften up the defenses of Sicily. There's going to be 3 landing zones, and he shows you where the landing zones will be. And he's in charge of 2, which he makes sure to announce very loudly. Patton is only in charge of 1. And Patton, is very gruff and takes a sip of his whiskey. And you feel a rivalry between these two.
Ooh, boys, calm down. I'm sure I can help you both. Alright, so there's a picture of her just pointing at the map. Tell me who stands to gain the most from getting Sicily. Obviously Germany, but anybody who's in league with them?
Unfortunately, you can only ask one of these questions per downtime.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah. But, yeah, so he's giving you, the spiel, and I think... Is there anything specific you want to know? You found the person who has that information. I wanted her to gain information
enough to be able to relay it to her team when they got there.
Yeah, definitely. So, the plan is for you heroes to help... with the amphibious assault on the island of Sicily, storm the beach, take the towns, push the German line. Well, I guess it would be German and Italian line back, and hopefully off the island so that you can then all get to Italy. And Patton and Montgomery both agree that Italy is the soft underbelly of Europe. And if you can take Italy and claim it before Germany can turn its forces towards you, before Übermensch comes from the war he's waging in the Soviet Union, and before he can get there, then the Allies will be set for a secure victory within a year or two.
All right. Well, I think I know what I need to know. Point me in the right direction, and I will get these men to fall in line. Thank you, boys. She just walks out.
And you see, as soon as you walk out the tent, Hives in the corner, like, lets out an audible sigh, like,
That poor guy.
and, like, collapses against the boxes in the corner.
He's like, oh, God, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Yeah.
Oh, Hives.
All right. And we turn the page from that scene. And I guess now we turn to the Deep Sea Dame. Is there anything going on in the Deep Sea Dame in the 5-day journey back to the States?
There's a couple things I'd like to do, but I don't know which works for what, and if we want to do both or just one, so reel me in if you need to.
Okay.
But Crystal Geiger, she has realized now that being around Dr. Fusion it just totally, like, nullifies her powers. Not nullifies, like, she could still read other people as long as they're not, like, he's not like an interference between them. So upon realizing this, there are, like, moments where she will be around him in, like, sort of in this sort of weird orbiting sort of way, like, people on the boat they see him and she's always near him for some reason, because she's trying to rest and relax her mind. This is the first time when she's realized this person sort of nullifies it, so if I kind of put him between me and other people, I can let down my guard, I can rest, I can relax.
Yeah, I like that.
And I don't even know if he's realized she's doing this yet.
He has no idea.
Okay.
Completely oblivious.
Right. Yeah, so we have that. Okay, so here's how the artist draws it. Like, we see Crystal Geiger with, like, all these word bubbles in the background, very very much like her issue 0, where all the thoughts were coming in from all the people in the buildings around her. She's like, all these bubbles, all these words, fragments of conversation and thoughts that we can see, and then she's, like, just sitting there, her face tight and tense, and then we see Dr. Fusion walk by, and those bubbles are still there, but they're all blank. And then as soon as he walks out of frame, the bubbles are back with the words in them. Then I think Crystal Geiger follows after Dr. Fusion. I think it's just a very quick scene.
Yeah.
Quick 3 panels. And then turn the page. A yellow box that says the United States of America.
I think we cut to Dr. Fusion working in a new lab, a different design, like, shape and upgraded lab from the one from his issue 0. Just kind of working on things. And then he is in his little offshoot room behind his office, and he kind of finishes what he's doing and takes his gloves off and throws them down, walks out of the room, and Crystal Geiger is asleep on his couch.
Oh.
She's just there, asleep.
Is she in superhero regalia, or is she as Margaret Meadows?
Probably as Margaret Meadows.
She's probably, like, stealing stage makeup from, like, a role or something.
Yeah, because I imagine when she came home, she went straight to the studio. And then what I kind of imagine, because that's not a whole lot of time to film, is what they were doing pickup shots, because there were some things they didn't get exactly right the first cut through, so they had to refilm a few things for something that she had worked on before she left. So she went straight to the studio, and then after she got done at the studio, she's, like, dead dog tired and just goes there and, like, falls asleep.
So yeah, he kind of sees her, looks confused, and just sits down at his desk and starts working.
But does he recognize that it's her, though?
I think he does. Like, there's a look of recognition, and he's just like, okay.
As he sits down, the chair kind of squeaks, and she starts and, like, looks panicked for a moment, and then like looks around, remembers where she is, because a lot's happened. And she like looks over and kind of gives this sort of sheepish smile, like, you quiet the voices.
He like half looks up and looks back down at his papers. I do not know what you mean, but as long as you do not get in my way.
Well, so ever since I was a little girl, I could hear people's thoughts, and it takes a lot of work to shut everybody out all the time, especially when it's crowded or I'm stressed out. And well, for some reason, you kind of interfere with that, and I hope you're okay with me just hanging around. I know I won't get in the way, I promise.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
Perhaps that has something to do with the small electrical generated field that surrounds me at all times.
Electric generated field?
I have been working on a renewable energy source for many years. A couple of years ago, there was an explosion, and afterward, I seem to have some sort of power running through me. So it's what I use to power the gadgets that I use.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's pretty neat. I mean, I'm sorry an explosion brought it on, but I bet that does have something to do with it. It's creating some kind of interference, and, well, I wish I could bottle that. It's so hard sometimes. And, you know, every time I turn around, I go ahead and read people's minds, because, well, it's easy if you know what people are thinking about you. I've been in a lot of bad situations, you know, and knowing someone's intentions makes things a little bit easier. But I suppose you're only concerned about your work, right?
It is important work.
Yeah, well, that's good then. And she has this look on her face like she's not sure if that's good, because she's not used to not being the center of attention, so it kind of irritates her, low-key. But, she just kind of shrugs and lays back down.
He looks up one more time as she does, has another slight confused, but, I don't know, he's kind of glad for the company, and then goes back to work.
Okay. So, Occam, it sounds like you are wanting to spend time with someone important, so you're wanting to step your bond clock with Crystal Geyser back by 1?
Yep. Because it went up
All
with
right.
1 when I knocked a bullet into her on accident.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, can we just focus on those two for the rest of the scene?
Yeah. Well, I guess we turn the page from that scene to, do we follow Crystal Geyser or do we do Sister Solstice?
I feel like I've done a lot. But I do want to have a moment with arguing with Julian,
Sure.
because he's going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine either way.
Okay. I'm going last. Okay. All right. Then we're going to turn the page. What scene? Where's Crystal Geyser at?
I think it's the next morning. She's left and gone home and washed up. Or she's leaving and going home to wash up. So we see her unlock her front door and reach over and grab, like, on the side table, there's a bunch of mail that's been there that she has not attended to at all. And she starts kind of flipping through letters. And I think Julian's there.
Oh, like at your apartment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and she doesn't realize it yet.
So the lights are off. You walk in. You're shuffling through mail, like on a little like table right there in like the entry hall or something. and you like flick on the lights, and Julian is sitting like in your sofa chair with like both his legs flung across the armrest. Where the hell have you been?
Oh hell, Julian. I'm sorry, I was busy. I've been busy, you know.
Yeah, you've been busy. I'm a Hollywood producer without his most famous star. And he gets up and he's tapped into your scotch, and he's like swinging papers around, and he's just sauntering across your living room. Where the hell have you been? It's been a month.
Well, you know, I had met somebody, and I've been kind of, you know, hanging around with him.
There's a panel of him just like slack-jawed staring at you. And then the next panel is him still slack-jawed staring at you, but he has a word bubble, and he says, "Honey, this is Hollywood. People hook up with new people. They meet new people every day. It doesn't interfere with making show business. Does it have to do with, you know..." He, like, puts his finger to his temple and, like, makes a squinty face.
The less you know, the better, Julian.
That is a wonderful thing to tell your agent.
Look, it might or might not have to do with fighting Nazis.
What? And you can like literally see the cash signs pop up in his eyes. A superhero fighting Nazis? Imagine, we sell this. Alright. Margaret Meadows playing herself, punching Hitler straight on the jaw.
Julian, I can't let the world know who I am. If I do that, well, I'll have no privacy at all.
You become more famous than your wildest dreams. You become richer. You won't be living in this pigsty anymore, I can tell you that.
I become a target.
You're a superhero. You go out, you're a target every night.
Well, that's true, but if it's connected to me, then my own personal life becomes Crystal Gazer's life, and anything I know or love, I could be a target for anybody. And someday, Julian, I want to have a family. I want to have a real life. I don't want to be stuck in Hollywood my whole damn life.
Well, let me tell you, someone who's happily married and has a kid of his own, it's not all it's cracked up to be. He like rubs the bridge of his nose with his thumb and forefinger.
Listen, just don't say anything, please. If everyone knows, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I got a bad feeling about it, and I spent my whole life trying to tuck it all away and hide it and keep it from everyone, and I just can't let the world know who I am, because then everyone will know I'm a freak.
He lets out a sigh, and he looks at you earnestly. Well, Mags, you've kept Fred and I a secret for this long. I'll keep your secret, too.
She smiles really big and runs and gives him a hug.
Oh, you smell awful. And you look horrible. He reaches into his suit jacket and he pulls out a familiar pill bottle and rattles it. You haven't been skipping out, have you?
What? Skipping out?
Listen, honey, Hollywood is all hustle and bustle. You gotta take it if you want to make it.
Julian, you know I can't.
And she's like, the shot is like, in this, they're like face to face, just she's like gazing into his eyes, like it's pleading look, like,
I can't take that. I got real good sleep last night. I'm good. I promise.
I hope you're good, because you got a scene with Ronnie Reagan in about an hour. I'll be waiting downstairs. He puts the bottle of pills right next to your mail and says, just in case. And then he walks out the door.
I think the shot is her just standing there with her like hands together in front of her, like in front of her abdomen, and like looking disheveled and just lost and wide-eyed as she watches him walk away. Like the overall feeling of like, this is a person I depend on, this is a person that's in my life who's a rock, but they're also trying to enable me, and I don't want to do this, but I know they want me to do this, and I owe them so much. But that's like the undercurrent of this look on her face.
Yeah. Do we turn the page from that scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we do, which of those mechanics do you want to do from downtime?
I already did one, right?
Did you do one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the spending time, the rest and recover.
Oh, you want to do...
That was my intent with that.
Rest and recover? Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Did you remove a condition or stress?
I moved stress.
Yeah, so go ahead. You recover 2 stress. And we turn the page. And Sister Solstice, what do we see?
So you see Sister Solstice opening a door into the hallway of the bed and breakfast.
Oh yeah. What's been going on with the bed and breakfast? Because you were gone for a month. So like, has anyone been running it? Has it just been vacant? What's been going on?
That's what she's finding out.
Okay.
But she walks out and like she looks like kind of your typical teenager. She's clearly been sleeping for a while. But she walks out and she's just trying to kind of get her bearings. She goes, I guess she goes to like the desk.
Mm-hmm. Like your check-in desk?
Yeah. And she's checking the log and she sees like who's staying there so that she can make a mental note of the names. So she can greet guests and stuff like that. And then she goes into the kitchen and starts preparing the food for the day. And she's just kind of slipping into like what she's supposed to do, like what her role is now in this place. Mm-hmm. But what she's wanting to do is rest and recover. And so like she's slipping back into like her regular role. And she's taking time to sleep and just try to feel normal while figuring out what she's going to be able to do next.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you said people are like actively checked in.
Yes.
To the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
So then someone has been here. Who's been here?
An aunt.
An aunt?
But I don't know her name.
So
was there an aunt in the...
We have not established any other members of your coven, your extended family. So we have Mother Midnight. We have Sister Solstice.
Auntie Arcane.
Auntie Arcane. Auntie Equinox. As you are preparing things in the kitchen, falling back into your routine, or rather kind of picking up the routine that your mother left behind, the door to the pantry opens, which is very strange, but this is a strange house, and Auntie Equinox steps out. Tell me, what's the first thing somebody would notice about Auntie Equinox?
She's very tall, mm-hmm. very slender, mm-hmm. and just all of her features are very like angular,
uh-huh.
and so like pointy. So like she's got a really pointy nose, and like everything. Like it's just like everything comes to a point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So Auntie Equinox walks out and looks at you, Doris.
Auntie.
I should thank you for coming back, wherever you've been.
You're welcome.
But I'm not going to. And she walks over and swirls her hands around, and some eggs come out of the basket and crack themselves and go into a batter.
Sister Solstice rolls her eyes, and she's under her breath. She says, "You're welcome anyway."
When the distress call from your mother went out, I responded immediately. I expected to find you here, keeping things in shape, but apparently you have not. As a member of the Summer Coven, it is your responsibility to uphold the standards of hospitality. Yet I find this place in shambles, and you gone.
If you know anything about me, you know that I would never leave without a good reason. Can you trust that?
I suppose I have to.
Yes, you do. She says with a little teenage sass.
Very well, niece. There is someone staying in room 1A and 2B. If you could please go take them their menus.
She stares at her for a second and like she's contemplating being obstinate in this moment. But then she quickly grabs the menus and jets out the door.
Yeah. You and as you are running down the hallway to go up the stairs to deliver these menus, you hear a knock at the door.
It kind of startles her just because she's not expecting it, and she's a little bit on edge with everything that's gone on recently for her. But then she takes a beat and she opens the door. Yeah.
Standing there in the morning sunlight is your classmate, Calvin von Ratcliffe. And he's just standing there, and he has like a... Oh, gosh, what did he bring you? He's holding something in his hands for you. What did he bring? Like, I was gonna say roses, but that's like, nah, he wouldn't bring you roses.
I think it's like...
A bunt cake.
No, I think it's like soup or something, because I think at school they probably thought I was out sick, and I've been sick for a while, so like he's bringing me...
So some sort of soup.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's standing there with like a little mason jar of soup in his hands. And he looks at you and he says, "Oh, Doris, I didn't... You've been gone."
Uh-huh.
I was just bringing this for you, but I didn't know you would be here. Is your mother better?
She's still a little sick.
Oh, I heard about something happening here, and well, your aunt was here when I came by, and she said your mother was very sick and had to go upstate. My dad's been gone for a couple of weeks now too. He does that sometimes.
How have you been?
I've been good. I've missed seeing you at school. It's been kind of lonely. Still don't really know anybody.
She has kind of a sheepish grin on her face. I missed you too.
There's a panel of y'all just standing there in the doorway.
She has her hands behind her back.
Of course. And then very stiff, like with stiff arms, he holds out the mason jar to you. "This is for you. Chicken noodle soup."
She grabs it really quick.
So will I see you at school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Good. And then he walks away.
She kind of steps back slowly and then closes the door. And then she just stands there for a beat and kind of smiles. And then she flits off to take the menus to the people that are staying there.
Okay. And as you flit off and run out of panel, we just see the little white letters in the bottom corner of this page that says, "To be continued." End of episode.
Woo, woo, woo. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Tales to Inspire. We'll be back with our next episode on July 18th. If you have social media, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Like and follow us at Misconceptions Pod for up-to-date information about the show, behind-the-scenes pictures, and just to show us your general positive feelings about the show. We also have a Discord. You can click the link below to join our Discord so that you can chat with other friends of the show and chat with other cast members directly. We also have an email. If you would like to contact us that way, you can email us at misconceptionspod@gmail.com. This show is fully supported by the generous monthly donations of our patrons on Patreon. If you would like to join that elite group of supporters and gain access to exclusive content, please consider joining our Patreon. The Tales to Inspire theme song was composed by Esteban Del Pino. You can find out more about his music on fiverr.com/IAM_WAKE. Omission was played by Mitchell Wallace, who can be found at Mitch Bustillos on Twitter. Crystal Geiger was played by Marlo Bogus, who can be found at Marlo Bogwitch on Twitter. Torchbearer was played by Phil Montgomery, who can be found at BMC Philanthropy on Twitter. Geiger Gwen was played by Kristie Scheidemantel, who can be found at Polish Kristie on Twitter. Dr. Fusion was played by Occam Razor, who can be found at Occam Soccam Robo on Twitter. Sister Solstice was played by Kari White, who hates Twitter and refuses to get one. And I'm David White, your editor-in-chief. You can find me at Mr. Banana Socks on Twitter. The role-playing game system used in this production was a modified version of the Worlds in Peril role-playing game by Sam Joko Publishing, featuring elements from the Avatar Legends role-playing game and Masks, a New Generation role-playing game, both by Magpie Games. Tales to Inspire is a product of the Misconceptions Podcast Network. Find out more about our other shows and buy cool merch at misconceptionspod.com. And that's it for this week's episode of Tales to Inspire. Thank you so much for listening, and keep it nerdy, y'all.